Hello, welcome back to the Weekly Recruit. I have Noah,
Yeet.
Kev, I have Siegel. Go.
Oh, let's
ATL.
fucking go.
ATL.
15
Let's
fucking
fucking
minutes.
go, guys.
We've been chatting shit in the pregame lobby. Call this Call of Duty, minus all the racial slurs.
Thank God.
I guess let's start this out. Noah, obviously we haven't spoken to you since before last match day.
Yes,
You
it
miss
has
out
been a
on
little bit.
playoffs. You missed
I
out on
did,
playoffs.
I did, unfortunately. It
You
wasn't.
missed out on head to head. I mean, that's gotta suck for you. Obviously, you haven't gone full Clancy and said we should abolish the head to head, but
I think the reason, and I'm not going to speak for Clancy here, but I'll speak for most people because there are a handful of people in this situation of the head-to-head for my team specifically that is kind of coming into question. But I think what hurts is like the fact that it's on two different games, right? And I know
Mhm.
there was a big talk of just like starting the season fresh, but at that point in time, we were kind of getting already delayed in time, so it wasn't the best like to do that. But I think that's what kind of burns a little bit more is that it was in CS:GO. So if we could have gotten a replay and maybe done it in CS2, I felt like it would have been a little bit more fair.
Maybe you
But
don't take it to Ancient against Hellfire.
well, and that's well, it was match day one, right? We had no,
Mhm.
there's no
I
tape
mean,
on anyone,
honestly,
right? So
Clancy,
like,
I legitimately DM'd you and was like, "Hey, look, you don't want to go to Ancient. You still went to Ancient."
it was,
Bro,
but it wasn't like it was like a blowout, right? It was 3 rounds, and
No,
that's
obviously,
that's where
but
it comes from. But I mean, I think in general, and I told all my guys this, but out of all of our games, right, the
mhm.
biggest loss deficit that we ever faced was 5 rounds, which that just goes to show the testament of the players that I had and how good they are to compete. I mean, there are some teams that are in playoffs now that lost blowout games, right?
Yeah,
And so I told them all that I think they played great for the season, and then I hope I taught them well moving forward into next season if they continue to play. And I mean, if people want to look down on us, even myself, because how can you be an IGL and coach your team
hmm
into a negative losing record? Um, they can have that mental all they want next
top
season. I'm just
two
going to come back
IGLs,
stronger.
honestly, top two IGL, and you get a losing record. That's gotta sting a bit.
No, I mean it doesn't because, like I said, our biggest loss deficit was 5 rounds, and there was a lot of changes we made to the team, during the season, and having
hmm
a 5 round deficit being your biggest loss just shows that it just comes down to, you know, someone gets this kill this round, or someone throws the smoke a little bit later,
hmm
or instead of me just getting 1 kill, I get 2 kills. So
Yeah,
it's not just a bad thing.
there's a big question I have for you, considering your season's over. There
Yes.
was a lot of talk very early in the season about you possibly switching off of the IGL role into more of a rifler support fragger type of situation. Going into this next season, is that something you're really looking forward to do, or are you just gonna kind of stick to your guns in IGL?
Um, yeah, I have the biggest brain recruit. So and we can put that on paper. I really don't give a shit.
One of
So
us
But
is
it's
I'm,
a
j-
video,
Drake,
not
I'm,
paper.
right?
I'm
I'm,
saying paper.
be glad,
I'm,
be glad
I,
Enders invited me and not Sentinel. He'd have something
Yeah,
to say
so
about that.
so
honestly.
I will stay as the IGL to answer your question, Enders, and also
Okay.
because my last season, the exact role that you said is kind of what I did, and to
hmm
be honest, like looking back, I think it hindered me because before I couldn't call and shoot, but I mean this
hmm
season proved to me that I can do both and I can shoot very very well. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep doing with what I do, and at this point, it's just to see what the next season brings us and see
Yeah.
what kind of
I mean,
things we can have.
Siegel did bring up the Sentinel situation, and obviously Sentinel has been saying he's creating a super team, and you're apparently on it. Obviously,
I
there was
have
some
heard.
rumors
Let
about a
the rumor
trade. There was some
stew. The
rumors.
rumor can stew.
Wait.
It's just
I
fine.
say there was some rumors, some chat logs, possibly a dirt sheet or two that had in the early bit of the season, first three matches, Sentinel getting traded possibly to ABI. Obviously, a trade that didn't happen.
Yep,
How
I
would that
remember
have
that.
worked out? How would that have
I,
worked out for you?
For me?
No, for Noah.
Nah.
where are
Noah,
we getting
obviously.
these DMs, huh?
cannot name sources. I would not be
You
a
can't
good
worm your way out of it either.
journalist.
I can
Who's
I would
confirm
not
that this
wait,
was a
no.
thing that was happening.
Who's
I
coming out?
can't name I can't name my sources. I can obviously not on stream. I'm not going to name them. That's a conversation me and you can have post
No,
stream.
no. It's all good because I'll tell you why, right? I think Sentinel is a fantastic player. I think that getting him on the team was definitely a look I was looking into to begin with because all great teams have a really strong main caller and have a really strong secondary caller.
Mhm.
I think to put Sentinel
They
in
also have a really good glue guy, but that was something else you didn't look into.
exactly.
That was
I
something
think
you didn't look into apparently.
I think that Sentinel coming in for his first season and being taxed with the job of being the main caller on a team, from my knowledge, because of the lack of team play experience, doesn't really have another strong secondary caller, right? I think he
Mhm.
would have performed way better under a main IGL, which I was taking that role for this season. And I think that we would have been a great brain set duo. Also, it was just a funny joke to say I'm going to take all the IGLs and put them on my team, so then no other team has an IGL.
Yeah, I think
Um,
I said to Hawkish at one point, AVI is the land of IGLs and they really need to fucking stop. I think that was said, Hawkish obviously afterwards. I still really want to get Hawkish to at one point say, you just lost to some birds. Still want to get that done. Hawkish, if you're watching that, please, you can DM me a voice clip and we'll throw it at the beginning of next episode.
but yes,
Uh,
Anders. I mean, it was definitely a thing I was looking into, right? But I mean, unfortunately, the things don't happen. And to be honest, looking at it is now, I think I still had a phenomenal season with the players I did, and I'm glad that they wanted to play with me first and foremost. I mean, my 4 teammates came in wanting to play under me, right? As an IGL and a captain, that feels
I
really
can
good.
name about 34 recruits that wanted to play under you, Noah, and I'm happy to say I'm on that list. I've made it abundantly clear I wanted to play under you in the preseason and the before draft times.
Well, you know, I
Brother, I
can't
was
take
campaigning
everyone
hard for
Anders.
AVI. I was campaigning hard for AVI in the combines. You know that. My
Yes,
best
you're
games
making
are
me
under
blush.
you. My best games are under you in combines. I can
That
say
is
that for
true.
sure.
They were.
Obviously, now I'd like to move on to Siegel. Siegel, hi, nice to see you here for the very first time.
Hello,
All
hello.
the guests, this is your first time here on the Weekly Crew.
Yes.
We've heard a lot of talk from your IG.
Okay.
Um,
Let her rip.
I guess there's a clip out there. I'm not saying anything, but there may be a clip out there that has him match day, or sorry, episode 2 of the podcast. He put Cow at 4 over a team beat them. Has he always been this cocky?
Sentinel has great aspirations and
And
great
not the
hope.
skill to back it up?
I think the the switch to CS2 really nerfed us for some reason because during, if you'll remember, during preseason we were actually kind of popping off on a little map called Vertigo.
Mhm,
We actually beat Wet, I believe, in preseason.
mhm. And
And
some, if I may, some would argue preseason doesn't really matter.
well, fair, but just let me have my win, okay? So we did actually beat Wet on Vertigo. And I don't know. I feel like the switch to CS2 really just kind of hampered us. It put us all kind of on the back foot.
Mhm.
We didn't really have
If I may also say that some people would also say that everybody had the same issue, and
you may
the
be
transition
correct.
to CS2 happened.
You may be correct, but we had a little bit bigger of an issue because the op got nerfed quite a bit in
Yes,
CS2, as you
absolutely.
would know, as
No,
you would
I
know.
would say that's something I can definitely
And not
confirm.
talking
We
shit
saw a
about
lot of
Sapphire
people
at
who,
all, not talking shit about her, but she suffered from it. It was unfortunate, and I
a
think
lot
she
of
would agree
operators
that she
did.
suffered from it. I
A
think
lot of
she would
operators
agree
did.
that.
We saw a definite change to some operators shot then flick to their target. Obviously, that was able to do before sub tick. Um, and we saw a lot of operators have to try and adjust on the fly to that. So
Oh
I
yeah.
can't. That's one excuse I will handle and I will take on the chin.
Well, that and just the inaccuracy before, like, when you first scope in with the op now
Yeah.
in CS2 for that first, like, whatever it is, 1 second or 1.2 of a second, that really hinders combat oppers,
hmm
and Sapphire's a combat opper, so she got like, she just got hit with the worst kind of nerf possible, basically, on that
Yeah.
switch to CS2, which is really
Um,
unfortunate.
luckily, we do obviously this is the first live the first weekly group film in front of a live audience. So we do have some of the audience here that I would like to go ahead and bring up since you mentioned combat operas. Hiroki, if you're with us, I would like to talk about mainly how you feel about that change. Obviously, you're much more of a combat entry type offer. You take fights, and so does Toast, Jeff. So you can also weigh in on this. Has it helped you guys that kind of fits with more that take fight style rather than a hold angles style?
Yeah, so I think Swing with the Hobbit has just become better overall, just because
hmm
the one tap deflects are actually nasty. It's actually been happening to me a lot recently, where I'm just like, most of my off kills have been just from like swing, jiggle peek, get pick, leave, and do it again, just because
hmm
it's literally a swing be swung game. Because before in Go, I really wouldn't be that aggressive. I would actually hold angle and probably scope and slowly walk. But like now, I think you actually just get rewarded more with it. It's so fucking fast that you can literally get the pick and leave, and most of the time they don't even get a chance to fucking do
Fight
anything.
back. Yeah. Jeff, do you agree with that sentiment?
Jeff's walking around the house right now,
Oh,
but I
Jeff
know
has
for
died.
he's got his wireless headset on doing his things, but I know for a fact Jeff struggled in the beginning. There
Mhm,
was it was like one of his biggest complaints was the changes that were made um with like the game would freeze and stutter for a second every time operas would aim
mhm.
in. If you get headshotted, you're not no longer accurate, which was no longer a thing in Go. I mean, fuck with MR13 and the economy, it's hard to even afford an op.
Right.
You know, if you're fighting a team that is equal and you're trading rounds, good luck.
Much like you
Um,
guys did tonight.
yeah, I mean Jeff didn't. I don't think in map 3, I don't think he got an op till overtime,
Yeah.
um, which is insane. But you know, it's even if you're if it hurts no matter if you're a combat opera or just you know a hold and angle
A
opera
century off.
regardless.
Yeah.
Because Peeker's advantage is like they swing around the corner so fast. Good luck. Like, what are you
Yeah.
gonna do?
Mhm. And I mean, it's really just if you can kind of use that to your advantage. I will say, how much, Kev, how much is playing with your own brother kind of helped
Oh,
this
it's
season?
everything. Um,
Mhm.
it's when no, if we you know lose Vaughn, lose Poutine, lose Drop, and we're in a 2v5 situation, everything goes quiet and we just play off of each other almost with no comms. Um, it's weird to say like, oh, you have the brother thing, but outside of CSC, we play together, we pug together, we
Mhm.
play regular games together. You know what I mean? Apex and you know
Yeah.
random board games together. So it's like
I mean, if
we're
I
always
may,
playing anything. So we have the chemistry.
if I may, if I've never played in a game with either just you or just Jeff. It's always been me playing a pug with both of you.
Mhm.
The only time I've seen you guys on separate teams was during combines, and there's a specific combine I'd like to bring up that makes me afraid of you two. Uh, there was a combine I was either again, I think I was on your team. It was on Mirage,
Oh yeah.
and I remember you pre-game just saying, "This is going to be fun. Me and Jeff are going to fight each other every map, every round."
Yeah,
Obviously, Jeff played less of an off situation, but he still went out and whooped our ass that game.
we don't like to talk about the losses.
We don't
We
like to
like to
talk
talk
about it,
about the wins.
but obviously you have a season under your belt, so that's
Mhm.
helped you guys in general. But also it has to help that you guys have this sort of connection, being brothers, that you can kind of play off each other without speaking.
Yeah, yeah. When we're on the same team, we want the other one to do really, really well, right?
And when
Obviously, it
you're
helps,
not,
but
you obviously
and
want
when
to
we're not,
you
I
can
want to
fuck out
shit
of
on
the
them.
other one. Yeah.
And we played last season together, and then we obviously played this season together. So the combines and like 10 mans and pucks are the only times we get to play against each other.
Mhm.
So it's just different change of pace. And there's
Yeah,
definitely a brotherly rivalry there.
yeah. I do want to ask one question because obviously Thanksgiving's coming up, and I don't know if you guys get together,
Mhm.
you, Jeff, and Scott, all for Thanksgiving with your parents. But I do want to start some family rivalry around the dinner table for Thanksgiving.
It's already there.
If you and Jeff got moved up,
Uh-huh.
obviously, would you bring in Scott to your team?
It's been Scott's dream since we entered CS. So Scott entered CSE season before us, or yeah, like a season before. And the only reason
Hmm.
Jeff and I joined was to get into his games and like PFA for the teams he was playing against, just the
Hmm.
Grief Scott games. But that was I know that was Jeff's like original goal. And once we had new tier, right, and then recruit, Jeff and I ended up going to the same team. Which shout out Fleeb, you're the man. Um, but if it's been Scott's dream to have us all three on a team,
Is that
how
your dream
well
though?
how well that would work, I'm not sure. Um, Jeff and I have similar play styles, but different mindsets.
Hmm.
Scott and I have similar mindsets or similar play styles, but different. They have way different mindsets. Like he
He
calls
shit
very
talks a bunch.
slow, and yeah. Well, he in server he's not so much of a shit talker, but he does just want to win no matter what, and I
Yeah,
respect that. Um, but the way he calls isn't the way I play. So how
yeah.
well we would work on a team together, I'm not so sure.
You said a lot in that it's Scott's dream. It's Scott's dream. It's Scott's dream. Is that
Mhm.
your dream though?
I think it would be dope. Listen, I'm still manifesting my own franchise, where the Toast,
Damn.
you know what I mean? So I'm
Hmm.
definitely gonna try and make a Toast franchise at some point.
Okay.
Manifesting that now. Um, I believe it was Sans that said it in Recruit, saying like, "Listen, I manifest this like the day I entered CSC of getting my own,"
Hmm.
which is awesome. But I think the Recruit team, the starter batch, is gonna go hard. I've already got names picked out, and I think once I get the own franchise, then I think we could talk playing on the same team.
Yeah. I have to ask. Obviously, every season we get the DE sheet for new
Mhm.
drug eligibles. Was on your guys' DE sheet that you specifically wanted to play together?
As part like
You and Jeff.
it wasn't. I will leave it at this. It wasn't on mine, but it was on one of ours.
Okay. That just means it was on Jeff's.
It was on Chavs. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the way it ended up working out was it got floated to obviously like Scott, and Scott was close in man with Supreme, and then Supreme floated it in the GM chat saying like, "Hey, these guys are brothers. They want to play together." Um, and then Nan was actually they were looking at us. They hoped we were gonna fall a little bit. Philippe had back to back picks and scooped us up. He stole us from Nan, which is I'm forever thankful from. Uh, and because Nan blew up that season, and yeah,
Nan
we were
blowing up?
yeah. Well, the whole roster left. Right, they all left the server.
Yeah.
I mean, that's on brand for them.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
yeah.
IGL scary at the time didn't want Jeff and I because our names were too similar.
Oh God.
And Flea wanted both of us because he thought our names were funny. So there's the differences
Yeah.
between the two.
Yeah. Obviously, it's been great to have your own brother. You mentioned that. Obviously, this season you move on. You bring in Drops Connection goes out tonight, and then you bring in Brian to
Mhm.
sub in for game 2 and 3. End up winning the series. I have to ask on behalf of my great friend and original podcast guest: is he getting a ring if you guys win? Slash, is he getting put on the banner if you guys win?
How does he not? How does he not?
How does he not?
In two maps, he drops. I just had the stats, but he dropped like 54 kills, like, and all of them
Over
were
two
big
maps?
impact ones. Like, how do you not? Right?
Hmm.
Yeah, Brian's a
Obviously,
Chad. Love
yeah,
Brian.
Brian was great. Obviously, he had some gear problems at the beginning of the season. That's why he got dropped from hell.
Hmm.
Kind of came back a bit too late after most teams had already finished their rosters. Brian obviously seemed like he made the right choice staying at FA and not signing with a Cal or YC or one of those teams just to get contract control. Because honestly, if I was one of those bottom tier teams, I would have signed Brian, been like, "You're
Oh,
staying
believe
on
me, we
for
tried.
next 2 seasons." I mean, obviously, that's one of those things of like Brian obviously proving that he's going to be a high draft capital player next season if
Hmm.
he doesn't get signed in the off season. I have to ask though, considering I guess I mean I don't think we've had since midseason. I think you're one of our first not new players to come on. At least since we had the realization that your guys' contracts come up at the end of the season. How much is that looming over you?
As
The fact
far as
you've got to go out and
contracts themselves,
yeah.
um, it really just depends where the MMR sets up, right?
Hmm.
Now, I don't know. It would be ideal. I know Jeff wants to move up. He believes CSC. You play together. You learn Team CS.
Hmm.
You go through the tiers. I know he wants to be in prospect next season. He thinks that's the whole goal is to just get better and move up. And I can't fault him for that. Um, Personally, I'd like to run recruit. For triple man style for forever. Um,
Yeah, man.
but
Under
I
your own
mean,
water.
the only thing we could do is play the best we can win the games that are in front of us, and then see where the cards end up at the end of the
Yeah.
season.
I guess the way I worded it might have been weird, but I mean, like, you have a big decision to make at the end of the season.
Oh
Whether
yeah.
you guys re-sign and or if you go to a new franchise, which will be your guys' first new franchise since the creation of Recruit Tier. How how big of how big is that decision for you guys?
Oh, it's massive. It's definitely massive. I can't. I'll say now. I never ever thought that I'd play for anybody other than Frog if it was my choice.
Hmm.
The community that Fleeb and camps have is just so dope. Where the contender players, I think I said it the last like podcast or the last episode I was on, was they're like our older brothers. Even age is like aside, but they come in and they help us. Prospect teams always, like, every time one of our game finishes, and we're watching the other team still play. The second that game's over, we flood, raid their calls. Like, the community there is just so dope. um
Yeah.
I know that Fleeb has made jokes. Camps wants to get rid of us as quickly as possible. He's been wanting to get rid of us since the day we joined. I think the first message Camp said to us was like, "So this double toasting is going to be a problem." And Fleeb, I know he's like, "Listen, you guys can get resigned whenever." So it really just depends where the MMR sends
Yeah.
up. And I don't want to. If Jeff and our MMR goes up, and
Hmm.
it's too expensive to have both of us on the team and compete, then we have to have a serious conversation, because at the end of the day, I'm never going to hold back a team just to play with
Yeah.
my brother.
Yeah. This is also a question for you and Noah both. Obviously, I floated the idea of having custom contract lengths for everybody except FAs. I think FAs should be signed when they're signed. I think they should be signed to a rest of the season contract if they're signed mid-season. And if they're
Mhm.
signed during preseason, I think they should be signed to a 2-season contract. I've thought about the idea of possibility or the idea and possibility of having, say, if you are re-signing with a team, to be able to have a 3, 4, 5 season contract if you want. Obviously, because the team holds the power and they can cut you at any point with no repercussions because you know, there's no rules against cutting.
Mhm.
Uh, just that thought process. Does that sound stupid? Obviously, you guys have been in your first season longer
I think it depends on how many people join, right? I
than
would
me.
love to give everybody a shot at making a team. And if we get another TikTok or YouTube video or Reddit post that blows up, and we have
Which
another 700
Which,
people join.
that will probably happen.
yeah,
Exactly.
Xbox is telling
Almost
you he's going to make
guarantee
another
you it will
TikTok.
happen.
Xbox is
So,
telling you he's going to make another TikTok.
you with the if you're the only thing contracts do is bound the player to the team, but not the team to the player.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So as far as like extended ones, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. Probably not, because if they don't want you, they don't want you anyway. So
yeah.
Well, and it's also like the re-signing process is not where the player makes the decision. It's
Hmm.
um, if you don't want to. So, like for Kevin and I, because our contracts are up, if we don't want to play on our respective franchises, we would go to our GM and say, "I'd like to be cut," or "I'd like to look at other options."
Okay.
Um, it's not that like offers come in and then you make a decision, because technically
Oh,
on
okay.
paper you're still on the franchise. So basically, in the GM's eyes, we're already signed for our respective
For
franchises for next
forever.
season,
For
unless
forever.
yeah, because Camp said this earlier, but it was like basically they own you, if you wanted
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
put it like that, right?
That's not what he
So,
said. He said Jeff and I are his bitches.
You go ahead,
um,
it's property.
I
but
mean, a
yeah,
good
so
example of this is Antlion, right? Antlion played for Nan. He finished his contract out, and when it was
Mhm.
over, he just wanted to play with a different group of people. Like he wanted to like get a new experience and see new faces and do all, and then he went to Cal, I believe, right?
and like you were
Yep.
saying
Yeah, he's on Cal.
Yeah,
for
yeah, lines like
Ruby
that.
Enders, like
Mhm.
Ruby's probably gonna go and talk to Roly Coley and be like, "Hey, I'd like to be cut. I'd like to play for other teams." And then he's gonna be like, "Okay." And then he enters the FA portal, and then it goes from there for the off season,
God,
right?
every time somebody says FA portal, I just remember sitting there for 2 days with like no messages. It's like, fuck, I made the wrong decision.
Well,
Uh,
those messages
that's
could
a
have just
that's a
been because the
little
GMs were talking.
no, that's a little insight from Brokey, obviously. Uh, just post cut, I was sitting there like, man, maybe I did make the wrong decision.
Well,
Sometimes it be like that.
and then you just gotta take life how it is.
It is, and then I subbed for. Luckily, ATL ended up screaming Sab a couple of times, and you know, Crash believes in the revenge buff, and then I ended up getting signed to ATL.
And then a Jetta hits you, unfortunate.
We fucking never forget that damn Jetta. I'm
No.
gonna. I want to go rent a Jetta just for Dallas.
Get the VW logo tatted on your arm.
I
Oh,
want to rent a Jetta, and then just like every time I see one of the boys just like hop in the car that hit me, and just pick up Brokey and say, "Hey, you remember this thing? It's what you hit me in." Clancy, any other questions I might have missed that you may want asked?
I've been zoned out. I'm gonna be honest with you.
No, that's fair enough. You got any questions for the group of guys here? Nope. Okay. Clancy is just here to film.
Yeah, pretty much.
Uh, so
He's along for the
obviously
ride.
tonight we had some great games, and I'd like to run through them real quick. Uh, obviously to start off, we had a 2-0 sweep by Spaghetti, a 13-8 and a 13-4. How shocking is that for
Eh,
everybody else? I mean,
eh,
I kind of expected Spaghetti to go through and win, but I mean
Okay, I
that
do want to bring up something. On the last
Mhm.
episode, we had 3 games going 2-1, and the one
Mhm.
game going 0-2, and the
2-0,
one
yeah,
game that we said was gonna go 0-2 was the only game
went the
that went
full.
was the only game that
Well,
went fucking
if I
2-1.
may, if I may,
Damn, I guess
I
you
was
guys
the
are
one
bad at
that
your job. Tisk
Yeah.
tisk.
I wouldn't shut up, Mister One Win. Okay, calm down, calm down, settle down over there. Obviously, I made the case for it to be a 2-0 because I felt like either team could have swept that and it made sense. It felt like that one was the only like it's gonna go one way or the other, and it's not gonna be close as soon as one team picks up steam. Obviously, Kev, you guys had a or a slow, fiery crash to the end of the season. You dragged your lifeless corpse over the finish line,
Yeah, what were we
and you
saving
turned it
strat? What I
around.
listened to? We were saving strats and or seed
Yeah.
manipulation.
So the seed manipulation was brought up by somebody. We don't know who. And then
It
I
was
brought up the
Brokey.
fact that let's be honest here. They made playoffs. They knew they were making playoffs. So if anything, it was probably just like, boys, let's just pug it out. Let's just kind of meme it through the end of the season. If we win, we win. If we lose, so what? We're not getting knocked out.
Brutally honest, we got beat. Like our practices were we still had our practices. They didn't
Yeah,
feel as
you lost ATL, huh?
yeah. Yeah, cool guy couldn't get his revenge game against us times two, but Crimson King could. So that one's tough. Uh
Yeah.
but no,
If I
yeah,
may,
we just took our foot off the gas, really. I mean, we didn't I don't think we took the games as serious in practices or leading up to it. We stopped doing like VOD reviews. Really, it was just, oh, it's ATL. We'll beat them. Don't worry about it. And GG
Yeah,
go
and we
game.
saw how that turned out, huh?
Yeah, we got
13
punched in
to
the
3.
mouth early and
If
couldn't
I may,
recover.
if I may, that's been for this back half of the season. Ever since we started on that kind of, ever since I got hurt, and then we kind of started backsliding to try and find my replacement. I just every time, hey, they'd be like, "All right, what's the plan?" Because I've kind of been in that role of looking at shit and kind of giving my
Mhm.
insight. Along with being the right man, I've just kind of been like, "Boys, nobody's expecting us to win shit because everybody's sleeping on us. Punch them in the fucking mouth, wake them up, show them what
If
ATL's about."
if anybody, why not you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, why
I
not us?
we beat you guys match day 12 or the
Mhm.
last match day, and I said, "Boys, we're playing with house money now. We're playing with house money. Let's go. Let's win this
Yep.
shit."
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, and I think Jeff will agree. We thought we were hot shit for a very, very long time. We drop a game to OS, but we're like, oh, dude, APG just
It's
had a dope
OS.
game. Blah
OS is
blah blah.
great.
It's just OS, and then Hellfire smacks us in the mouth, and then that's when the downward like spiral happens.
Hmm.
Is Hellfire smack? We were like, we thought we were an invincible force, and we're like, holy shit, we
You
have
take a bullet
weaknesses.
and you're like, "Oh shit."
And it took us probably until that ATL game to realize, holy shit, we have weaknesses. Let's patch these up.
Mhm.
Speaking from experience, sometimes you just get in those like death spirals, and like
Mhm.
You
you
were
just
in one all
can't.
season, huh?
I was in one all season. You try your best to get out of it. You make changes where you have to make changes, and sometimes they just don't pan out. Like shit
So
just happens.
I do have to ask Siegel. Your one win was against YC, if I'm correct, right?
Yes, yes, it was.
You guys beat YC, and then obviously you guys are sitting there like, "All right, boys, we can do this. We can come back." And then you start get down to your second death spiral. It's sort of like getting hit by a tornado. You
Yeah,
get up, you're like, "I'm still alive,"
I
and then you
mean
get
the
hit by a
win.
car.
I'll be honest. The win against YC was a good win, but if I'm perfectly honest, I felt like it was a little. Oh,
Too
how
good.
would you say it? No, not too good. It was a little bit fake in a way because
Hmm.
YC had also just changed their roster.
Yeah,
Within like 24 hours we were playing that match day. So they didn't have any time to prep their new player,
yeah.
who coincidentally was one of our old players that we had dropped. Hi Pancake, I'm sure you're watching. Um, but yeah, they didn't
God,
have any time
pancake.
to prepare. So I don't know if I feel like that win was really. I don't want to say it wasn't deserved because like we
But
did win.
it was
It's hard to hold a lot of weight in
very
it.
much
It is hard to
yeah,
hold a lot of weight in that when we had
especially
a
when you
match
lose
day
every
up
other
on
game.
them. Yeah, especially when you lose every other game. So I don't know. It was just I feel like it was one big long death spiral that had a small blip.
Yeah,
Everyone's got outliers,
you
right?
got
Shit
down to the
happens.
ground at one point, and then in comes a car flying from the tornado to hit you back.
Exactly. Here comes the second
Somehow,
VW Jetta.
somehow, I got hit
Coming
by a
for your
Jetta. You got
ankles
hit
this
by a
time, Enders.
bus. Y'all got hit by a bus. I got hit by the Jetta. Y'all got hit by a bus.
Well, go ahead, Anders.
Obviously, so the great game there by UPS. Obviously, I had them. Clancy had them, and I think Gear and who else was on? It was Gear and who else last episode?
Good question.
That's a
I'll tell you.
great
I tell you.
question.
I had UPS. I had
Brass.
It's
UPS
Brass. It was Brass.
Oh, I
pooping
also
on it.
had UPS.
Berkey was on as well. Berkey, who'd you have last week? You had the UPS, right?
I was a non-believer because I wanted to
You were a
upset.
Nan.
I
Yeah, yeah.
believe that, and ATL were up.
Brass and Gear were all kind of chilling with Nan. And at Brass, you can correct me after this drops if I'm wrong. But you guys all had Nan, and obviously me, Clancy, were just like, bro, you can't bet against UPS. Uh,
I will say
it's a very hard to bet against.
I'm shocked that Nan brought it to Inferno. That was their pick
Mhm.
for the bands based off of a scrim that we had. Even though we were, a team that didn't make playoffs, we had about 4 teams hit our line asking to scrim.
Mm-hmm.
At
I
Nan
think we
B.
were one of them, if I'm
Yeah,
correct.
yeah, ATL was one of them, so it's Nan. And they wanted to practice their Inferno, and I mean, scrims don't matter
Yeah.
as they say, but going into playoffs, you have to have at least 5 really strong maps, and
Yeah.
Inferno was one of the maps they wanted to practice, and it didn't go too hot from there for them then, and I'm shocked that they wanted to play into it. Um, so having a first map loss
Mm-hmm.
that was a 13-8, it's probably pretty tough for their mental. And honestly, the ancient game is what I'm most surprised, but to think that Nan was probably going into that ancient game pretty confident after already beating Spaghettis on Nan, or on ancient match day 4. Spaghettis probably just, I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe did some
I mean,
demo.
I will say, Noah, it's not shocking a bunch of teams hit you up to try and scrim, considering arguably, I would argue you guys should have made playoffs.
Hey, it's all right.
I mean,
But yeah,
considering, obviously not by stats, but obviously you guys felt like you were going to make playoffs the entire time, and that sadly didn't happen. But obviously you guys are a strong enough team that going up against you guys is a smart idea in scrim.
yeah, I
Especially
mean,
now you
and
guys
it
are
was
out of it, you guys can start treating scrims like games, and a lot of teams are going to start doing that now that we have to
exactly.
scrim on off days.
And it was nice to I mean, for me, like, I knew it was probably going to happen, but for the 4 other guys, it's probably nice for them to still feel like, we're a tough competition. So getting those messages asking to scrim and things like that probably is a nice morale boost,
Bet you
which
show up
was
to their
needed.
scrims.
Kev, we already talked about it.
Noah ghosted us on scrims twice this season.
No, once. And the second one,
Twice.
something came up.
I don't want to hear it. Ghosted us twice.
That's
Look,
because you're cringe.
There are some things I would like to, obviously, with the next match. We had Sav versus Hell, which I hate to say it turned out the way we thought it would, but we expected Hell to lose knowing they were down Colin. Young Robot.
Hell put up
Put
a
a
damn
great
good
game.
fight on Ancient, though.
On
My
Ancient, though,
gosh.
they put up a hell of a good fight. But Young Robot will do that. Young Robot's great.
True.
Young
To be
Robot
honest,
is
I don't think it
fantastic.
was just. I don't think it
No,
was just
not just them, but
robot fragging.
no. But if I may, the thing is if you're gonna lose Colin, that I would like to have if you're gonna lose Colin and Young Robot's your sub, that's not a terrible situation to be.
No.
I can concur as somebody who is 0-2 to Young Robot this season.
Young Robot's fucking fantastic, dude. We love
Yeah.
him in ATL. We love that boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ATL loves Young Robot, and Young Robot has shown us love back. Big up Young Robot.
He did drop that 30 bomb in Ancient.
Dude, he's a fucking maniac.
Man's a monster.
There's not much to say on that because outside of the Ancient game, what we expect to happen happened, and it's very much that quote that the football coach. They are who we thought they are, and we let them get away with it. Before we talk about Frog, which is technically the next match, I would like to bring up something I said to ATL, and this is before our last match day against Frog. I said, the Toast Bros love Mirage. That's been a reason no one's picked into them. I think Mirage is a better pick versus another team. And so, like I've said, playing against Toasty Bros on Mirage is a fucking frightening. It's a very frightening thought process. Toasty Bros be scary on that fucking map.
They do.
They make me
Mirage
fucking.
Mirage is in a big gray area, especially with like no teams besides I think one match day was played on Mirage this season.
There's been a couple Mirage matches. I think
And-
two.
Like only having 1 or 2 or whatever how many it was you have no tape on the teams you're playing against.
It also
And-
feels like a lot of teams have it in their back pocket though.
Yeah, but see, they have it in their back pocket because they think, oh, we're just gonna go out and pug it. If you go out and play Mirage like a pug against a team that is actually going to take the map seriously, you're just going to get dumpstered on.
I will say, like I've said all season, Toasty Burns might be scary on Mirage, but ATL has plans.
I pray you pull Mirage out on us.
Please no. Ruby, if you're listening to this, Crash, if you're listening to this, please no.
Go, I beg of
I
you.
like I said, I don't want to go against you guys on Mirage, but if we do, I feel confident enough that it's not going to be one-sided.
Well, listen, I mean, we showed that we can go into a triple overtime game. So
That's the first triple OT of the season, I think.
Our
Not
ATL
3 of a
was as
playoff.
well.
No, that was. Oh, you guys were percent.
Yeah, yeah. We
Oh,
went
okay.
19 to 16.
I thought that was double. I thought that was double, not triple.
Yeah, because your game was what?
No, that would have been double. No, that would have been double. 16-19 is double.
Theirs was 19-7. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My bad.
That's double. Yeah, yeah.
My
It's
apologies.
16 when you win the first overtime.
True. Very true.
Because you can end up in a 14-16 in one OT. So yeah, 19
Yes, the
wins
first
is
triple
2
OT
OTs.
and
well,
playoff.
Jesus.
wasn't Sav and Hellfight, didn't they go to triple overtime?
No, that was double, if I'm correct, Brokey.
No, they've got the same score. It's 19-17.
Yes, sir.
Was
So
that
then
double
it was
OT?
So they technically beat us for
beat us
the
the
Anyway.
first.
double, the triple.
So I mean, a lot of Counter Strike played. Kev, how
Mhm.
tired are you right now?
I took off my hoodie because I was sweating. I put it back on because I was cold. I put it back on. It was mentally exhausting.
Mhm.
Physically even more so.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said all season, these best of threes, you gotta not be a team that gets tired.
You know,
Yeah.
I will say, Kev, you had the attention of the CSC B stream chat. You had the hearts and minds of the public with you guys. They
Bro,
were rooting for
Eh,
you.
Listen,
he has my
shout out to
heart,
FRG fans, dude, because
bro.
I mean, I think in our call we had like 19 people, not 19 people, but there was like a ton of people in the call as far as camps, like with the technical difficulties. There was, I think
Mhm.
I was on my stream, I had like 16 viewers,
Dude, you had
17
me at
viewers.
one
So
point. You had me at one point try to talk to Dewey. I was hopping around streams because the B stream was not working for me. Like it was laggy as shit. So I ended up hopping around your stream, Brass Biscuit stream, Dewey
mhm.
when he was streaming. I mean, some great Counter Strike watching. Some great games being played tonight.
Yeah,
God, I miss Counter Strike. God, I
yeah.
miss it.
If the B stream went as had just as much technical difficulties as our match did, so it's okay.
I mean, that'll happen when that's the game they're streaming. I know there was a big comment about me and somebody else really wanted OS versus ATL when you guys were having technical difficulties. I think, no offense to Drop, but I did say at one point Drop has 2 rounds to reconnect. Otherwise, they should change it to OS versus ATL.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody wants to sit and watch a 4v5, even though
No,
we did win a
listen,
couple 4v5 rounds.
you did win a couple, and obviously you won the hearts and minds with that.
Yeah.
Y'all,
Well,
that
I mean,
alone went on.
shout out Drop, right? Like he literally goes, "Hey guys, what time's our and disconnects?" And we're like, "Uh-oh." And then he joins from his phone and goes, "My power shut out." And we're like, "You're kidding."
Oh,
And he
he goes
sends
and
us
gets
the
a
screenshot
hotel.
and it's like 13 customers affected and you're one of them. That's great. Thanks, dude. So
Oh
we're
my
like
God.
fucking
bouncing back
god.
and forth of what to do and Brian goes or Drop just goes, "I'm going to a hotel. I'm going to go play from a hotel." So we're like, sure. Okay." Like
I mean,
so
did
he
he pay
goes,
for the
yeah.
premium Wi-Fi?
I
He should
mean,
have He should have hit up Milky. He should have hit up Milky and be like, "Hey, look, what's a good hotel that has good Wi-Fi?"
I think he was in such a rush to join cuz I mean, and shout out Bort, like good guy Bort. He let us push the match back to 9:30.
Yeah,
Um
that happened
and
with
then
ATL versus OS too. It got pushed back to 9:30.
yeah, so I mean, I think Drop was in just such a rush that he connected to like from his hotspot, um, which he had like 60, 70 ping, which
Yeah,
like is terrible for a normal player, but if you're Drop, you're still gonna do Drop things.
if you're the new
Um,
Mills, you're gonna do the new Mills stuff.
exactly. And then I think what ended up happening was he left, tried to connect to the Wi-Fi, or like he disconnected. It was like, I'm just gonna switch to the Wi-Fi, and it's a different IP, so you can't connect.
Yeah.
So that struggle that went back on his hotspot, still couldn't get in. We
And
played a
then at
couple
one
rounds where
point,
Oh,
you
because
guys,
I
you
bet you
guys
he
get
turned
back.
the hotspot off and the IP changed. That sucks.
yeah, which is, I mean, whatever. We got a
Obviously,
match medic. We were down 10-2 at
yeah.
half, lost
Gotta send
13-11.
match
I
medic
can't be
to fuck
upset.
the game.
Yeah,
We did fuck the game on the website. I don't know how much. If you guys had to play the second and third map on your own server.
we played on the Mist
Okay.
from
You guys
servers.
did have to play on the separate server. Okay.
Yeah, because once the match medic comes in, it's Jover for the rest
Yeah,
of the match.
it's Jover for the rest of the match.
But I mean, 10-2 half, and we lose 13-11. I can't be upset, really. You know.
Mm-hmm. If I may, we once again, I'm just scrolling through the ATL chat around the time that we played you, and at one point, there's Crimson King, who was our sub for that match day, and he's singing your guys' praises. Obviously, Frog has had a good, what's it called? You guys have had a great impact on this here, as opposed to some other, franchises. I'm not gonna name franchises here that have a bad reputation in recruit, but they're out there.
Yeah, I love Crimson. Crimson was one of my favorite teammates for sure. Um, they were. I mean, I'd get home from work and they were in a practice server, practicing nades, doing everything they could.
Yeah.
And cool guy's another one. Cool guy was. We have our former frog like chat. Um, and he was the first one in there. Just, hey guys, GG. You know. So, I'd like
Mhm.
to think that whether we're, once a frog, always a frog, and I never like to leave teammates on bad terms.
Yeah.
Unless you see me in a 1v1, cool guy, then you get your fucking head taken off.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, this season has kind of been crazy with the move and everything going on. I will say, we finally get to talk about my favorite match and slash game of the match day. ATL 21's OS. Hashtag rise up. Hashtag let's fucking go, boys. Hashtag ATL, 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 ATL. Nobody fucking believed we could do it. They wrote us off, but we
You're
didn't
on
write
your
back.
own, Enders. Sorry.
They wrote us off, but we didn't fucking write back, boys. Like I've said all season, going into playoffs, the last couple matches, I've said people are going to get tired. People are going to get tired, and that's when we are going to excel. Because, and some of our other guys said, them like, yeah, no, it's not a problem, it's not a problem. It's match, it's best twos, best of threes, whatever. We saw it obviously with the double headers. People got tired, played worse in their second match. We're seeing it now in the best threes. People are playing worse in second, third match. So I think, honestly, it's gonna be tough. A lot of teams are looking like they're gonna get tired. I think the two teams I think that don't get tired on the opposite side of the bracket are UPS and ATO. I think those two teams are not gonna get tired. And honestly, Brookie, you chill in chat. You better get UPS out there too. If you let them hang around for three, it's scary.
Best
But we'll
believe
get into that. We'll talk about that in a moment. Obviously, ATL go out and do what people thought was impossible. Everybody last week were calling me Cope because I had ATL over OS. Obviously, it ain't Cope now, bitches. It's the truth. Deal
I
with
never
it.
thought it was Cope and OS fell apart. IMO. It's
Like it
interesting.
had. I forgot to ask Noah. What's your opinion on the frog ending?
It's fucking fantastic. Fuck wet.
Okay, that's
They
the quote to take away from Noah right there.
I think my stream caught the end of that, by the way.
can't. Yeah, I hope it did. I hope they clip it and put it all over CSC.
Noah
Like
for
they
real
just
is FRG's #1 fan.
literally like they choked just like they did last season. Get used to it, Slatong. Crazy.
Um, I will say, my own teammates gave me a fucking scare in chat because they said we lost 2-13, and then all I got was 3 ads saying last map is Inferno. What the fuck do we do? And then
Well,
it was join VC, join VC, join VC, and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to coach them into an Inferno match. Which Inferno we practice, but that's not been a map that I've had to coach them on because we haven't played it all season.
Mm.
So I haven't had to coach them on it. I've been able to coach them on the other maps that we have. And so I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to fucking reread all of our strats for Inferno. And luckily they were like, boys, we fucking whooped their ass. So I joined. I was like, let's go, let's go. Guy as fuck. Like I said
Yeah.
at the beginning of this rant, they run us off. We didn't fucking right back, boys.
To be honest, though, like the Goshi game, in my opinion, the Goshi ATL game, like I had ATL from the start, only because I mean,
We should have had you on last episode then, Noah. Somebody
yeah,
back me up.
I mean, it's really shocking that Goshi came in this season with what was it, 4 keepers or 3 keepers,
Mhm.
all from last season, and they still were just a mid team. Like,
Damn, that's a quote. Somebody
I
put
mean,
MJF up on the screen. Mid.
I think APG is good and Fun Science is a good hopper, but I just don't know why they just can't win more games. Like,
I
I'm gonna
mean,
be honest. Like they have the weapons. That's what's
like
confusing.
I said to the boys pregame yesterday or Monday, I was like, guys, APG is not going to be a perfect player. That's the target.
Yep.
If he fucks up, let them make the mistake. I quoted Moneyball. I quoted Moneyball. If they make a mistake, fucking let them.
Yeah.
Do not stop your enemies from giving you a win. And
Yeah.
APG didn't show up to play, and I'm not saying that's their complete downfall. Maybe something else happened, but obviously APG this season has shown if he's shown up, they've won 16-1, and if they haven't, they've lost.
Yeah. It is, like I said, the most interesting, and it's not because I think the players on OS are bad, because it's actually quite the opposite. I think they're all pretty solid, but it's just insane to look at
They
that
have the
roster
opposite. They have the
and when they
opposite
don't
problem
win.
that I think Cow does, right? Because if I'm OS, I'm trying to keep as many of those guys as I can. Obviously, they're not going to. Maybe the system didn't fit everybody all together at once, and that's very hard to do.
Mm.
Whereas I think Cow might have a decent system. They have a couple of pieces that may not fit that system, but they can come back next season. And obviously, we're gonna have new players. We're gonna have players in the draft that would be their second time being drafted without being a keeper if certain players don't resign and don't find a team in the free agency pool.
Right.
Cow could be a menace next season. OS, they've got to look at their option and be like, okay, we lost out in the first round, but what do we change?
I would like to say that when I said Cal was going to be in a menace next season in DMs, Enders told me I was an idiot. So just
No,
saying.
absolutely. In fact, you can send that. Immediately afterwards, I said, I kid, good luck next season. So,
But
like,
no,
in
for
fact,
real,
here's
I
the
do
thing.
think Cal can actually
No.
get a lot
Here's the
done
thing.
next
I
season.
would like
I
to
really
quote
do.
this. Make no mistake, Cow is absolutely top tier. Y'all just don't know it yet. I said your record would like to have a word with you. You said this season was a warm up season. Next season we ball low. And I sent you that. You sure about that? Sure about that? I kid. Good luck next season.
Yeah, no, I'd be looking forward to it. I think
Obviously, as much shit as I talk on Sentinel, Sentinel is chill and he's always been chill.
Oh,
I
Sentinel's
wish
a
no
vibe.
harm. I wish Sentinel's funny to laugh at. He's much like Yin, in my opinion, where like they'll say some off the wall shit and it will be funny.
It's true.
So,
I just think
like,
that, and I think that you guys got the butt end of the stick here, but being 5 DEs on a team and you're playing against teams that have, 2+ keepers, I mean, and now you guys
Tori,
have that,
Tori,
right? Like
fucking
now
Tori, if you're OS,
Now
you
we've got
have
the
you have
experience.
you have the intangibles of team play Counter Strike that you just gain as a bonus of being in this season, like being in
True.
this league. Like, I mean, you could even probably recognize it in your premier games if you play with your team and things like that. Like, it's just a night and day difference between your average CS player versus someone that plays
in a league, yes, this is just like a beer league as we call it, but there's some serious competition here, even in the lower tiers, right?
Oh
Like,
yeah, for sure.
in that whole stream, I know you were playing, Kev, but Homer, uh, he was in there and he was like, "This is recruit. Like this is
Hmm.
crazy when you're on your Mirage triple OT. Like
Yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
Well, I
it's
mean,
and
here's the
it's
thing. Nobody in recruit wants to lose. We can call it a beer league all we want, but none of us want to lose. We all joined with a competitive streak.
exactly
Nobody came in here to lose. We all want to win. I mean, the difference is we're with some exceptions, we're all mostly friends outside the server. We're all chill. We don't have a we have our couple of players, much like Scott is in Prospect or other places have. I'm a meme. I wouldn't assume anybody hates me because I'm a meme, but I'm a meme. Uh, Sentinel's a meme. I don't assume anybody hates Sentinel.
Love you,
Uh,
Vin. We're the
but
duo in
that's my
Prox
thing.
chat among us.
But that's the thing is, like I've said, I think there are certain people that are memes and certain people that like ha 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 funny funny. But none of us actually legitimately dislike another player.
That's not true.
Yeah, that's
there
not true.
are
There's a
I
there's
Reddit,
one
fucking
there's a Reddit
hate B
JV.
Web, bro.
Oh my god,
I can't speak on that. I can't speak on that. I can't speak on that.
that's
what
a
I will
statement. Holy.
I
B Web knows
cannot.
the relationship we have.
I cannot speak on
I'm just kidding. I love B Web.
that.
But every time he joins the call, I tell him to get the fuck out.
Uh, there are certain players that I don't particularly like. Ridwin JV, if he's still around, fuck that guy. Pancake was toxic to me for no reason. I still don't know what the fuck is up with that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I'm gonna start naming names. Yeah.
Oh
Bro,
god.
keep going. Keep
I'm
going.
Um,
listening.
I'm so
Like
into this.
paying
I'm
attention
Keep
here
listening.
for a
going.
second. What did I miss?
There's Yin. Yin's a meme, but like, bro, how you gonna snitch on me to your AGM and have them message my AGM, bro? That's a joke. Don't take that serious. Um, what
Keep
other
going.
names can I bring
Keep
out?
going.
What other names?
Talk shit on Jeff.
Oh
Jeff,
no,
Jeff
I
is
don't
good.
really have a problem. No, I don't have a problem with Jeff. I really like Jeff. I really like Kev. I like you both. You're both chill as fuck.
I
I
have
don't
no
really have
problem with
problems
Jeff.
with players. I don't really have a problem with players, except Brokey. Fuck that guy. Can't wait to beat his ass in Columbines. That's me joking again. I can't wait
Rookie and I
for
are
next season.
immediately running 100 profit farms after
Look,
this.
if I may, I can't wait for next season for me and Brokey and me and Colin to keep back up our rivalry during combines. That was the best part of the season for me was combines because I got to argue with Brokey every time we played or with or against each other. It was like a hey yo Brokey, you get your ass beat this game, right? Hey Colin, you get your ass beat, right? Obviously, most of the times I ended up on the losing side, but we get on ZD where I'm just like, let's fucking go, boys, you're good as shit, let's fucking go. So, it's one of those things, like, much like Kev, you know how it is when you play against Jeff. It's you want to go out and whoop his ass, but when you're together, you're just like, let's fucking go, boys, let's go.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean,
Obviously,
if you're not trying to be like, I think with
here's
CFC,
somebody's head
we've all
off.
gotten so close and like we're all like becoming really, really good friends that
Mm-hmm.
the rivalry is there, man. I mean, when you're on your like I said,
Fuck
when
the
they're
new
on your
guys,
team, you
fuck the
want
new
them to
D's.
succeed.
Fuck the DEs coming into the season. Fuck y'all. You don't know shit.
Nobody joined this season. Get
Look,
fucked.
and there's now you can do what I did to you in this season, in the combines. You can reach out your helping hand or not.
um,
He just said fuck the DEs.
I know.
yeah.
He's gonna have a
That's
chance of
gonna
winning.
that's gonna get posted. That's gonna get posted when the new DEs come in, and I try to help somebody because they're good. Somebody's just gonna go, "Hey, yo, Enders is trying to be nice to a DE. Here's this clip." God, I love the clip of me getting thrown back, and obviously, Cayman has posted it of me saying, "Dude, Sab probably is peaking too early." God,
Brutal.
that's up there with Cal, or sorry, not Cal. That's up there with Sentinel saying Cal is at 4 on his power rankings.
Well, I mean, he had high hopes.
Bad,
He had high hopes.
poorly aged quotes. Poorly
He
aged
had
quotes.
high hopes. It was too early
That
to
aged like
tell.
milk.
It was too early
That
to
aged like
tell.
milk. It aged like milk, though. Don't lie.
That's on brand then. Is it not?
So
Is it not on
no,
brand
that's
for
fair.
Cal? Come on.
That's fair. Obviously, we're gonna try and we've been here for 45 minutes, right, Clancy?
Might be a little more than that.
A little more than 5 minutes. So I'm gonna start going around the table, and obviously, we got two
We're at 50
matches that
minutes.
are
We're
decided.
we're at an hour.
Okay, we're at an hour, so let's go ahead and start trying to wrap this up. Obviously, this Thursday we have two matches leading to we have the semifinals finally. So I'm gonna go around and we'll get to Kev last because he's still in playoffs, and I'll probably answer before Kev because my team's still in playoffs. Let's start with Siegel. Who you got winning in semifinals, going to finals?
Oh, let's see here. What are the matchups actually? It's gonna be
Purple
it-
Spaghettis, Tadpoles,
Servals versus
Harpies.
yep. If you're
okay,
not
so
sure with them,
Sav's playing UPS. Okay, so in that game, you know, seeing how UPS kind of just dominated Nan, um, and
this is a team
granted,
that went. No, if I may, Nan making playoffs is shocking considering they had a negative round diff.
oh yeah, well, honestly, I had Nan losing that game from the start. I mean, we almost beat them match day like 9, I think.
Damn,
When it was
coming out with
13
it.
to 11. No offense, Nan, you guys are great.
Damn.
But we almost beat them, so I didn't have them beating UPS here. I just can't. You know, like not that they're a bad team, I just don't see them beating UPS.
Yeah,
So UPS going back to UPS versus Sav, I'd probably have to pick UPS there, but I think it's gonna be close. I'm saying it's a close 2v1.
2-1 for you. Obviously, they make finals for you, and then who do you got on the other side bracket? The
That would be
Frog versus ATL.
Frog ATL.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta go with the Frog Boys. Gotta do it.
Mm-hmm. I'm expecting to hear
Again,
Frog a lot. I'm expecting to
ag-
hear Frog a lot this episode.
again, I think it's probably gonna be a 2-1. I think ATL is a bit of a sleeper team in a way. I think they could pull a map out, but I just don't see them pulling the series. I don't.
No, okay. So going into finals, you have Frog versus UPS. Wow.
Yes.
Gotta ask, who do you think's winning it?
Oh,
Keep in mind,
my
we
heart
will have
says
this.
Frog. My heart says Frog, but I don't
Frog
know.
winning.
I don't know if Frog can topple UPS. Either way, I think it's going to be a great game. I really
I
do.
mean, you have UPS in finals in back-to-back seasons.
Yeah, they're good. What can I say?
Is that's an achievement, man. That's an achievement, man. Back-to-back finals appearances is an achievement. Look at LeBron. Okay, Noah, you up?
Yeah, I will. I could take this here to start it. We said Sav versus UPS.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest, I think this is 2-1. The only reason it becomes a 2-1 is if UPS comes to play like they did tonight. If they don't, I have my boys at Sav taking the W here. I know Cayman's cooking up some shit because he's a fucking mad scientist. Uh, so yeah, Sav's winning that 2-1 in my opinion. For the Frog ATL, I mean, Frog is on top. I think ATL's had their good games and had their wins, but at this point you have to think like Frogs snuffed out the weaknesses, just dropped arguably the biggest competition of the leftover teams, and they're not going to lose to the Harpies in my personal opinion. I think this is a 2-0 in favor of Frog.
0 for Frog.
So then that would put then Frog and Sav in the finals. I think
Yeah.
God, that's tough. I think it's a 2-1 for Frog. I think they drop first map like they did tonight, but then they come back and win out the last two. So I have Frog on top.
Frog winning the championship. Clancy, let's hear from you.
Dorvals move on. And Tadpoles move on.
Who wins?
I think Tadpole takes it all.
Tadpole So two people win. Say Tadpole wins it all. Sequel, you said
Mhm.
Tadpole wins. So three people saying Tadpole wins the entire fucking thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Toast. I'm
Yeah.
gonna come to you first. Just go ahead.
I think Sav and UPS, Sav clears. Um, they're just arguably, and I know we've lost here. Sav is the hardest team we've played.
Mhm.
They're just so unbelievably good. I also think that Dewey's going to go into this crippling Gamba addiction that we got him on, and I don't even think he shows up. Um,
He shows
so
up
I
focused on
think
losing against X of Gamba.
He
I
shows
love,
up to the
yeah,
casino, bro.
Yeah,
I do love
Pulls up a
UPS.
Brinks truck.
I think Colney
back in
is,
that Brinks truck up to Mandalay Bay.
yeah, Colney is sort of the unsung hero of the season. I think he is one of the smartest players in recruit
Mhm.
that does not nearly get. I know his name gets floated around here and there, but I don't think he nearly gets enough credit.
No,
Um,
like I said, he's 1A, 1B with Noah,
mhm.
and I can't rank him on a date. Like, it changes day to day. Anyway, I think he's top.
Yeah, I just think that Sav's firepower, within Brookie on the op, and when he connects,
I
oh my
saw,
god.
there was a clip I saw when I hopped into Brass Biscuit stream, and it was Cayman just ripping
Hmm.
a 4K, and I just was like, damn,
Brookie will take your head off.
Brokey
Cayman will
will.
piece you, and the entire time you cannot see because Toad has flashed the shit out of you.
Toad,
So
dude, Toad has been amazing this season. She's really shown up and shown out for Sav.
what do
That
you do?
was, like I said, when I asked for my release, I talked with Ledbone and I said, "Hey, look, you got five or you got six great options here out of the six people you have. I think out of everything, I'm the weakest because I can't play my style of CS in this. But I mean, you're gonna find a great team out of the people you have left, and obviously they did. I said straight up, if you let Toad play Toad's game, Toad's gonna fucking rock.
Hmm. You
But no,
die
the
and
Toad
you don't know
train
where you're dying. Imagine trying to call out and not knowing where you're dying from.
and the UK. I mean, I will say I probably underestimated UK's calling ability when I asked for my release. Obviously, UK's been calling great for Savs,
Hmm. I do think
but
Sav. I love Dewey. I think Sav 2-0s. As far as ATL, I think the worst thing you guys could have done this season was beat us,
mhm,
because it sort of reawoke us a little bit. Um,
mhm.
so now the Toasty Boys are grinding like never before. Like we're grinding harder than we were before at the beginning of the season. I think Jeff and I have maybe watched, I don't know, like 13 hours worth of odds. Um, just practicing as much as we can. Um, I think that game goes as far as Drop's internet will take us.
Mhm.
Um,
If drops from the game, it
Mhm.
sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I do think it's probably a closer matchup. Um, I can't I can't say anything against us though. So
No,
I'm gonna
I
say,
would flame you. I would flame you
yeah,
if you did
I'd
anything to
say
take.
FRG wins
No,
two
absolutely.
one. I do think you take
I
a
will
map.
say.
I do think you take a map. So I think it's 2-1.
Oh no, if I said, like I said, I would flame you if you didn't take Frog. It's
Mhm.
your own team. You should back them. I did to Brass Biscuit. I played Brass Biscuit over that. I think you should have utmost confidence in your team no matter who you're facing.
Mhm. I agree. And then when it comes to the playoffs, I
Thank
wish
you.
imagine the finals were best like a three of like best of five. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's what Sav and FRG deserve. Um,
Who you got
and
winning it though? Say what
how
you gotta say, bro.
you can't bet against Frog, dude. I'm telling you. Um, I think we'll take it in another 2-1,
Yeah,
and
fair enough.
that's with nothing but love, and
So
I sweat harder than I sweat tonight.
if I may, that's four people saying Frog wins, and so here I come to tell you about a different story.
Can I just say for
I
a
love
second though,
Sav.
we're the seventh seed, currently the lowest seed in
Mhm.
playoffs, and still all the pressure's on us.
No, I think you guys play well. I think your seed is a lie. No offense. I think your seed's a fucking lie.
We
Um,
slid the furthest, had the hardest downfall.
I
Yet
think
the
honestly,
expectations are still there and the pressure is still there.
yeah, but I think your seed's a complete fucking lie. No offense. I think your seed should not be as low as it is. I think you guys should be on the other side of the bracket.
I wish we were.
But here I come to ruin all of my credibility. But fuck it, we ball. I can't bet against UPS, but I also really, really, really want to see Sav versus ATL in finals. What the fuck do I do?
Have you guys played in the regular season before?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
obviously you did, but how'd that go?
Sav and ATL lost. We lost. That was my first match day out. We lost.
That was so it was
That
in,
was so.
CS2?
There's been some jokes about like, oh God, Brokey or Cayman or UK ran me over with a car. That's why is because it's my first match day out. I got hit the day before the match day for versus Sav. So I really, really, really was looking forward to playing Sav, and that obviously didn't happen. So the fuck do I want more? Do I go with my gut and don't bet against Dewey and Colney and Penty and all those guys are on UPS, or do I go with what I want to see? I think it's a 2-1 either way. I think it's 2-1 either way, and I think Sav pulls it out. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. I think Sav wins 2-1. I think it goes into overtime on the third map though. I think it goes like double, triple overtime. On the other side of the bracket, I think ATL wins 2-1. I think you guys take the first map, and then we take the second and third.
Hmm.
And then at that point, it's Sav versus ATL in finals. Look, either way, it sits at this. I win a ring either way on sports rules. Right. I win a ring either way because technically I was drafted by Sav, so therefore if they win it all, I get a ring. But I gotta go ATL to win a real ring, even though I'm on IR. So I think ATL wins it all, 2-1. I think we give Crash his first ring in 10 seasons. I think Ruby wins a ring. Mr. Nomad, Mr. Mercenary wins a ring. I think we give the French Canadian his ring, and I think we get Wakeful, who Wakeful, let's go. We get Wakeful ring, and I think more importantly we get Bud MVP.
We'll be giving a French Canadian a ring. Don't worry. It's poutine, not.
Damn.
Nah, we giving
Shots
Rooney the
fired.
ring.
Shots fired.
We giving Rooney the ring.
Don't a French Canadian's getting a ring this season. Don't you worry about that.
I legitimately think ATL can. I think ATL has the construction to win it all. I think we've had the construction to win it all since the regular season started.
I'm gonna tell you the same thing that I wished I said to Colin when we were playing Hellfire. We were recording the episode before we played. I hope everybody on ATL drops a billion kills. I just hope you don't win around. I want
Hey,
to see you all
honestly,
succeed. I want you all to eat, basically, right? Just not
yeah.
at my table.
Toast. Here's the thing. I want you to win a ring and recruit before you eventually get moved up to prospect. I want Jeff to win a ring, but I don't want it to be this season. I don't want y'all to win a ring this season. I really fucking don't.
Don't worry, we'll be next one too. We'll double it up.
Nah, I gotta win a ring in the next. I'm coming back with a vengeance next season. The thing is because there's only 12 teams in recruit right now. Unless we move up to 14, my options for a team are getting real fucking limited, boys.
That's not true, Enders.
No, that is true for a specific reason, and I'm thinking about making a role swap next season. I'm legitimately thinking about making a role swap next season, and there's
So-
only 12 spots. There's only one spot per team for the role I want.
Well, or
I'm
or
picking
that
up
team
Big
makes it
Green.
around.
I'm picking up a big fucking green, baby.
I'm
I'm picking up Big Green. I'm fucking taking heads with that bitch.
excited to see.
No, I before I got hurt when we first made the swap to CS2, I picked up a bit because Rooney was struggling with it to try and figure out what he was doing or what we could do to help him. And I feel so much better with CS2 op than I did CS:GO op. So I'm really looking forward to probably making that swap.
Well, there you go. You got you got 2 months to really hunker it in after your recovery.
Brother, I'm December 8th is what we're looking for. And then
Nice.
I have we're looking for December 8th for me to be back in CSC 10 mans, and then next year we go into combines, and none of these DEs are getting the op out of my fucking hands. I'm not pulling a cat, or not, I'm not pulling a Jeff. I'm not pulling a Jeff. What's up? Me, bitch. I'm off it.
Goddamn right. Tell him who's
Ne-
boss.
Next season is just Enders versus every DE.
Oh, dude. Like I said,
Enders versus his own team, who will win?
Enders versus his cockiness and shit talking, who will win. Obviously, this season I've had to be a bit more memey and shit talky than I'd like to be, obviously, because I gotta make a fucking name for myself. I gotta be recognizable.
Very true.
The glamour and fame has gone to your head. We
No,
all know
not
it.
actually. Except Sentinel. Fuck Sentinel. No,
He loves you too. Don't worry.
it's funny because preseason I was completely worried, like, oh god, I'm not gonna make a team. Oh god, I'm not gonna make a team. Everybody's like, bro, chill the fuck out.
We remember.
Yeah. That's something I will never forget.
Oh, I legitimately, I seriously thought I was gonna get cut before I asked to be cut by Sav.
Oh man.
Dude, I have no confidence in myself.
Well, change that,
But
Enders.
fuck it, we ball.
That's right. Swinger be
And
swung.
I'm coming back next season. Kev, hate to say it, your brother's getting moved up. He's getting moved up. There's opportunity for next
If
best
you
offer
want,
this
if
year to
you
step
want
up.
to beat the next Toasty, bro,
No, I'm not saying
You
I
the
got a
want
only
to be
lot
thing,
of
Toasty, bro.
fights
the
to
only
fight.
thing I gotta do is say get in line, brother.
No, I don't want to be the next Toasty, bro. I want to be the next best offer in CSC recruit here, bro.
Get
I
mine.
I think Jeff is
you
a
put
fucking menace with the op. I think Jeff is a menace with the op. I'm ready to take up that man with best recruit
Jeff
offer.
did put himself. We made an op tier list, and he did put himself pretty high.
Where
Not,
am I on
not
that
number
list?
one.
Where am I on that list?
I can't recall actually seeing your name on that list. I do know that he has number one. I believe he has Fun Size though. Is his number one
Oh,
hopper.
fair
Best
enough.
I
best
think
hopper
he
in
is
the tier.
2 and Salt is 3. I think.
Look, I'm coming back, and I'm gonna play about one game with the op, and then realize, oh god, I'm shit. Let me go back to rifling.
I pray next season I get to award you, and I don't know why it's me that's awarding you, but I'm gonna say that I'm
Uh,
gonna get some sort of staff role, and I hope that
uh,
I award you the comeback player of the year, like for
bro,
this
how,
season.
no. Fuck it. At this point, how do I not win comeback player of the year as long as I don't get hurt next season?
I don't know.
Like, legitimately, it's like when Demar Hamlin, like this year's comeback player of the award for the NFL is already gone. It's gone to Demar Hamlin already.
How is
Bro
it not?
survived death. Bro, like literally died on the field, and he's playing this season. How is he not already comeback player of the year?
Yeah, I
That
think you have
award,
a strong showing for it.
bro. As long as I don't show up and like get 0 kills all season, comeback player of the year's mine.
I mean,
Comeback player of the year in all tiers. Enders.
it could be crazy.
Look, it's not hard to do better than getting, I think, 40 kills over 2 games.
Yeah. Just kill one
Not
guy every round.
kill like 3 people every match, and boom, I'll match my productivity from last season.
I will
I-
I will say since we're starting the beginning of talking about combines, and this is
Mhm.
completely off topic, play in the combines. Like whether
Yes,
you're
Please.
DE, FA, PFA, I don't care. Like play in the combines,
Fucking
and
play,
I'll
dude.
I'll tell you like where the benefit is. Combined, Jeff and I had 50 combine games.
Mhm.
I think Jeff had what 30 something, and I had 18, close to
34.
20 or so on. Regardless, that's where we get to meet, the people
Yeah.
like Brian, who I can then call in midway through and be like, "Yo, Get warm
I
up. You're
may,
going in. You're going in,
if I
coach.
may, no. Here's the thing. From a DE perspective, here's why returning players should play combines. I didn't know shit about any of the guys at OS. I didn't know shit about a lot of players going into this season because you guys didn't show up to combines because you didn't let people learn who you were. We didn't have shit on you guys. So when people like Toast and Noah and everybody else who was playing rookie, when those people played combines, they were like, "Oh yeah, I know him. I want to join on a team with him because he's chill as fuck and or he plays combines. And I like how he plays." That helps us DEs and the new DEs that are coming in. It helps us realize these people are fucking awesome. Let's make connections and try and get on that team rather than
Exactly.
like, wait a minute, I got drafted to OS. Who the fuck is on that roster?
If
You
nobody
know?
plays in the combines, this league will die.
Exactly.
Combines is
For
what makes
sure.
it live.
Otherwise, all we're going to see is DEs who just want to play with other DEs, and then they're going to get fucked up and just want to leave the next season
Yeah.
because they're not having fun because they're playing against people who have uh, 1, 2, 3 seasons under their belt, and they're
Mhm.
like, "This is not fun to play." We're
We
seeing
were
that
s-
with Cal. Cal. I don't see. We can talk about this more. It probably wasn't that fun to play against an OS or a Frog or a team that had a bunch of returning
Oh yeah.
players, was it?
No, I remember we actually played against UPS on I think it was Ancient, and we got I think it was 13-2. It was pretty rough. It was just one of those games where like we just couldn't get anything going.
But
And
yeah,
they were a good team, and we just didn't have the team play element. It just wasn't there.
yeah, and that's something that I think. Now, obviously, that's not so helpful for. I can say for ATL, it was so nice having Ruby, even though Ruby this is his first year on ATL. It was so nice having him be able to be like, all right, look, here's how it normally goes. Even though this is his first year under contract with ATL, him as a nomad is going to help a lot because he's going to be able to come into a new team and be like, all right, guys, here's how normal Team CS goes. Here's how
Well, you have
teams
Bud
build it
and
up.
Rooney as well.
I mean,
Yeah, but
we
I mean,
had kind of a similar situation with a lot of our higher tiers in Cal.
mhm.
We got a lot of help from Proto. Shout out to Proto. Fucking love that man. A lot of help from Crafty as well. And even like Antlion a little bit just playing in premier games with him just kind of helps to like kind of shake off the feeling that like actually like these are just dudes and they're just here to help you,
Yeah,
try to
Mhm.
get better. That's the whole point.
and it's not fun to be on a team of 5 DEs where your only help is people who are way above you, or where you can't build up like where there's not one like veteran voice that's like, okay, boys, we got this.
Right.
I can only assume how much of a struggle that is because even if you have a DE who comes in, and I'm assuming there's going to be a new Enders next season, I assume there's going to be a new quote unquote glue guy. That wouldn't shock me if there's not a glue guy who comes in who is just vibes. I'm talking about like somebody who, yeah, they're not a veteran, but they're going to make sure team spirits are kept up. That'll help with seeing who that is rather than, I mean, my draft stock improved from playing combines because people were like, he's chill. He's not going to be, talking to his teammates. And that's something that you can't figure out if you don't play in combines if you're a returning player.
Oh yeah, and I can speak on that firsthand because when I came in, I didn't really play in the combines at all. I literally looked up this league one day and was like, "Oh, hey, this looks cool. I should sign up for this. When's the sign up date? Oh, today? Okay, I guess I have to play in the last 3 combines to get my combine games in." And I just didn't meet anybody and just showed up to draft night and got
Yeah.
drafted in the second round. Like shit like that happens and I don't know. I just felt like it was still a good experience, don't get me wrong, like, this has
Yeah.
all been an amazing experience, but I can only imagine, like, playing, 20, 30 combine games would have, like,
Yeah.
really helped me to, get to know more people to understand, like, who
It
I'm actually playing
definitely
with
helps.
once I get
Dealing
on the
with.
screen
Yeah.
once I get on the team.
And that's the
I
thing for returning players. It's like it's hard to tell who you vibe with, and that's a big part of the league. I mean, we're seeing the top 4 teams that are left are all people who either played together last season or are friends outside of the league in UPS. Like you've got Dewey and Colney there, who know each other through Scalpel and are friends. I mean, like it's nice having people around you that you vibe with because then it makes the league more fun and the look look better, play better, feel better. That
Mhm.
all does. It's a thing that exists.
I'll leave it at this. The difference when we had the number, we were deciding what to do with our number one draft pick. The differences between Drop, Pindy J, and Colty were Jeff and I played more combine games with Drop than we did the other two. That
Yeah.
was the only difference between them because they all their stats are all similar. They all looked really good. They were all projected to go top 5,
Hmm.
or even top 3. I think they were all projected to go bang, bang, bang. And the only difference that put Drop, I think, is I think Colty had better combine stats than Drop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he did.
the only difference that made it was I played 12 games with Drop in combines. I played 1 with Colty.
Yeah. And so you knew that kind of vibe
Mhm.
and knew kind of how he played and how he was, and that's gonna be important. I think that's one of the only reasons I got drafted. I think at the third round is I showed up to as many combines as I could. I did as
And this
many
comes
team
after
10 mans.
combines. Yes, yes, yes.
God, dude, I can't wait to stay up till 4 a.m. playing combines again. That's gonna be fun as hell.
Rip, rip Milky's liver, dude.
And
Yeah. And
Milky,
remembering all
dude,
the
Milky,
gambas.
Milky
I'm gonna
listens to
gamba
these.
after combines.
Milky listens to these. Milky, if I one tip for you for combines, don't hit the bottle so fucking heavy after the first game.
Huh?
Dude,
What?
that's the only reason
I
I
heard
think Milky dropped
alcoholism.
as far as he did. No, I only think Milky dropped as far as he did because his stats. You can even see it on Analytical, which that's something when we bring in and fancy when we're gonna have to do one before combine start. We're gonna have to show all the new people all the resources that we use. One of the things you're gonna have to see is like when you go back and look at his combine matches, bro starts at a massive peak and then he falls off the more games he plays throughout the night because he was hitting the model so fucking hard.
That's kind of funny, honestly.
And so his stats just got nerfed because he'd come in the first 2 games and you'd be like, oh my god, we're playing Milky, dude, game's over. Just accept the loss now. And then you get him third, fourth, fifth, sixth matches of the night, and you'd be like, bro, I cannot play with this dude. Get him the fuck off my
Shit like that happens.
team. But I mean,
It's combine, so it's a
Milky's always
vibe.
been a
He's
vibe
not
though.
taking it all that
Milky's always been a
serious.
vibe though. Milky has always been a
Milky
vibe.
could be 24 deep, and I would still want him on my team.
Just for the vibe alone, dude. Because when he hits the bottle that hard, he becomes the glue guy. He becomes the vibe. Any other thing to wrap up? Anything anybody wants to talk about before we close this off and sign out?
The only thing I want to do is shout out Brian. Thanks for subbing in such a short notice, and by short notice, I mean 20 minutes worth of like heads up. Uh, and then I do have to shout out. I'm gonna throw up while I do this. Uh, Scott does listen to this, and Scott has been super helpful this season with
Scott
helping me.
listens to the weekly recruit.
I think so, or he listens when
God,
when he knows his name got brought up, because there's a lot of people throughout the CSE that listens in like a whole bunch of other tiers.
Toki. Oh
Um,
no.
and Scott like helps us with the. I will say that with wet, the maps, the pick bands went 100% accurate of where I thought they were going.
Mm-hmm.
And Noah can vouch for it because I talked with Noah
Yep.
about it beforehand. But I knew we were playing Vertigo. I knew they were going to try and pick it into us. Vertigo is not a map that we showed. And I know it's one of Scott's best maps. So he came in, he helped us. He's helping us on other maps as well throughout the entire season. So I do have to shout those two out is
Mm-hmm.
Brian and Scott.
Um,
Brian gets a ring though.
see,
Scott gets fuck all.
Seagull,
Gets my
anything you want to
words.
bring up
Dude, I
before?
get a ring?
Wait, what? Me? Huh?
No, Seagull.
Oh.
Oh,
Seagull, anything?
shit. Shout out to Sentinel. I took your spot on here this week. Get wrecked, loser. L plus ratio. That's all.
Noah.
I'm ready for next season.
Clancy, anything you want to say before we go ahead and shut this off and I get my big spiel and think getting the past 3 episodes?
Shout out to Low Seal for casting a really good series, and shout out to Smirnoff America for helping me cope with being eliminated.
Okay, and I guess to kind of end this off, I would like to say thank you everybody for making the week group great. We will be back next season. We ain't going anywhere. We will remain your new source for shit posts and
Are we
memes
wait? Are
about
we
recruit
wait?
here.
Are we not doing any of the other
What?
for the semis and the finals? Not gonna do.
We already.
We are.
No, we are. But I just want to kind of spiel that we're going to be back next season. I think we're going to start early. We're going to highlight more DEs. We're going to bring them on for vibes, and so that way people can learn who they are because that's helped us get our names out and let people know who the recruit tier is. Obviously,
That's a great
Kotoki has
idea.
mentioned how all of his recruit tier knowledge comes from us. So big ups
Yeah.
Kotoki. We know you're listening to this. Big ups all the DEs who made everything about the season great. Thank you to all of the returning players this season who made it so easy to transition from being a DE into being a legitimately decent player for everybody here. Can't wait to fight you all in combines again. I'm coming for a spot on a team again. I do have one question. Let's we obviously are most likely gonna have two new franchises because the exponential growth that happens in this league. Anybody have a team, just one that you would love to see get a recruit team?
Dude,
Yeah.
I wish the academics
Prodigy
had one.
Toast, Prodigy Toast, and Toast.
Okay, so the
Um,
toast franchise we can't bring up because it's not a thing
yeah,
yet, but
it is
that's
gonna
leaked
happen.
information. That's leaked information.
Oh yeah,
No,
no, you
We're gonna
weren't
have to
supposed
shut
to
this.
talk about that.
I think no, I think probably HG. I think that'd be a good franchise.
I would love to see Manifest in recruit. I think
Gas,
Big
little
Slime, Big
gas.
Slime.
Yeah, I was gonna say Big Slime. I know that he
Gas.
says that he uh, is already struggling with the 5 that
That
he
would be
has right
juicy,
now.
guys.
So
Yeah.
Dude, just get more AGMs and give them more things. You know, give the AGMs more. Give the AGMs more power.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I do wish the academics would come down. I think the academics is just there's
Academics
so
will
many
be fun.
memes and stuff.
I will say, please never give me or Clancy an AGM slot because God, we would ruin it so fast with our shit posts. We sort of become the Russian Badger.
You
or
act
of
like I'm gonna
news
shit
or
post
the big group.
everything. Like,
Brother, we do shit post. This entire fucking podcast is a shit post.
yeah, but I meant it to be like that.
Clancy,
Point.
Clancy,
That doesn't make it not a shit post.
Yeah.
Clancy, no, real quick, Clancy. I've said if you eat 40,000 bananas in 10 minutes, you will die of radiation poisoning. And you didn't answer back with, oh, yes, the radiation would kill you. I'm pissed about that. You fucking left me out to dry.
Dry like a towel.
How
I'll
were you fucking already drunk?
Yes.
The recording's
I've
done,
been
right?
drunk this entire time.
It is
Fair enough.
2:45 in the morning. So
It's not
So, I
done.
mean,
Brokey,
I
if there's,
guess
if there's an org that you
that's
want to
it.
come down to recruit, who is it?
Live studio audience.
Great answer.
If there's a team, if
He
there's a
doesn't want.
franchise
He
that
doesn't
you
want
want to
any
get a recruit team
franchise.
next season. Yeah, we already said Big Slime. So I guess that's it. From all of us here, the weekly drop. Go fuck yourselves. Thank you guys. See you.